All right, what is up, YouTube? This is week 4 of quitting dunking to try and become a professional triple jumper. Of course, as you can see, we are always going to be doing some sort of incline bench. Reason being is because it's hard. It does not make you any better at triple jump. It's just because it's hard. This might look like it's 180 to 190. That big plate is a 25, so this is only 145 plus 155, so that's like about 160, and I bet I'm struggling quite a bit. Top set looks like 165 and actually hitting it pretty smooth. I'm actually currently on week 8 as I'm watching this, so it's kind of crazy to see how much stronger I've gotten, especially with this lift in particular. I know that I was failing like at least one of my sets almost every week between weeks 2 and week 6 of the training. Lately, I haven't really failed, and if I do fail, it's a top set with weight that's 15 to 20 pounds heavier than my very initial starting weight at the beginning of this series. So whatever you're seeing me do as a top set in these videos, I now do as a bottom set. That's how strong your boy's gotten lately. And I've actually lost quite a bit of weight. I think I came into Liam's training almost 2 months ago now, weighing in around, I want to say maybe like 188. Now I'm staying around 181 to 183, so 5 pounds down. But I think my body composition is really what's better. Not necessarily like I'm losing like mass on my body. I actually feel like I look a little bit bigger because I'm a lot leaner. Kind of nice. And then we got into some push press. And same thing. I think this is 155. I'm sure I go up in weight. But looking at this from week 4, and it's now, week 8, I think I'm like 20 pounds up, or I might have done like 195. It's like a crazy weight for 3 push presses. So, and sorry for the background noise. I'm literally getting ready to do a grocery pickup. So, there's just like trucks back here, I guess. And then we got some dips. This is probably 10 to 20 pounds if I had to guess. In week 1, I couldn't do 5 dips. Week 8, I just did 3 sets of 8 with 30 pounds. Wow. This is crazy how strong I've gotten. That's crazy. The power of just sticking to the same shit. That's a good thing to talk about. People always talk about, in order to not get injured, you need lots of variety in your training. And as someone who's like a beginner, if they hear that, they think, oh, I need to switch up what I do, every 1, 2, or 3 weeks because, I'll hit diminishing returns. And that's just not how that works. It's very simple and honestly a pretty objective, easy way to think about it, but you're not going to get diminishing returns from doing something, a month or even maybe 6 weeks, unless the things that you're doing are high in all areas like volume, intensity, and like high weight. So if you're doing like the heaviest thing for as many reps as you can, for as many sets as you can, yeah, you'll probably get diminishing returns, or you're probably just going to hurt yourself after the first or second week that you're doing it. But if you're doing something, 3 by 8 and it's, RPE 7 to 8, and you're just tracking it throughout the week, like you can add 10 to 20 pounds on a specific lift and you probably won't be hitting diminishing returns at all. You'll probably just be really sore and you might need a rest. I think sometimes people are so adamant about switching it up and making it fun, and it's like, it is fun to improve on the thing that you suck at. If you don't do that, then you're never good at anything, if that makes sense. Like these things right here, I went from not being able to do it to, going half the stack, and I think currently I can do almost the full stack on this particular machine. It's one of those things that's like, monotony is not bad your intent probably is. Same thing, like, I suck at Excels. This is week 4. It's way better than week 1, but compared to week 8, like, I can see everything that I've done wrong. My hips are high, my legs are straight, I'm not pushing off my back foot. My feet aren't getting under me, I'm really reaching. Things like that. If I didn't sit here for 8 weeks and get told that I needed to practice it, I probably wouldn't get as good as I got. And what's crazy is I still think I'm not good at it. I'm probably not good at it at all, but I'm a lot better, and that's kind of what it's about. So, monotony is not bad. Variety is not bad, but you're not going to hit diminishing returns if you lack variety just a tad. So this is kind of a cool drill I forgot that we created. I'm going high right, distance left. And what that's kind of trying to do is help prime and elicit some specific adaptations when it comes to not breaking in my second phase. And honestly, it worked kind of good. I like doing that. And then I would get into these double alternating bounds into the pit, 4 by. I don't know how far I measured. I think it was past 30 meters, which is really good. Rough though. Like my thing is rough. I just try to be active throughout my contacts. Then I'm trying to do some speed distance bounds. And then I got into some 60s. So I look pretty slow, not gonna lie. Let's see, right here. And yep, like I remembered it fell. Then again, with the bench, I think I started to have a love-hate relationship with the second day of the week doing bench, just because your chest is so sore, you're so fatigued, and you're basically trying to hit the same, if not maybe a little bit more weight than you did just like 3 days ago. I do think that I might have felt stronger on this day, like the beginning of it, and then I think I do end up failing. Right now, I actually switched up what we're doing in training. So before we were doing two jump and sprint days, 2 lift days, 2 upper days, and then 1 leg day. So 5 days altogether. Now I do 5 days altogether, but 3 of them are some sort of plyo, sprinting, jumping, etc. And then I have like 1 upper day with a little bit of lower body. Then I have 1 lower day with a little bit of upper body. So a lot less lifting, but I'm actually a lot stronger. I think I might have to do something just with fatigue and the fact that I've been consistent for 8 or 9 weeks now, and that's just really gonna help with my adaptations. Fucking nerd. With just getting stronger. This is some incline. As you can see, my grip is a lot wider. I think I actually really enjoyed realizing that wide grip does help you push more weight. I used to think it didn't. I think I just sucked that bench weight back. Now that I'm getting older, it's a little bit easier for those old things that old guys would tell you in the gym that you didn't listen to. They actually work, like widening your grip a little bit, or bulldogging when you're doing bench press, or not looking down or up when you're doing bench press, looking just kind of in a straight line. And yeah, you're literally seeing me do the rest of the week again. So I did 1 upper, then I did a second upper. This is 20 to 25 pounds, and I'm like ripping it. I was getting really strong at this point. I think I was actually getting a lot of confidence. But I still felt like I was kind of fat around this time. I low-key switched up my diet maybe 3 weeks ago now. I will say it's kind of low carb. It's kind of high protein. It's kind of like the basic, like the basic bitch diet where you just, I need to go down on my carbs and eat a lot of protein. And if I'm hungry, I'll eat some fiber. But it works. I mean, I'm not saying you don't need carbs. You definitely do. And I do intake a lot more carbs, especially the night before, a big leg day, or even just during. I have lots of apple juice during my workouts if I'm having a leg day. But if I'm not sweating a lot, and all I have is upper body, I'm low-key probably not going to eat that much. Like, if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to force myself to eat. But if I am hungry, I will eat. I just think, I do nothing and then I go sit down and do nothing at work. I can get my steps in, only eat when I'm hungry, whatever is my maintenance or whatever I have prepped. And then if I get hungry after that, frozen fruit and a little bit of honey or Greek yogurt or some fiber or, pickles or something. And boom, there you go. Like, I'm eating at maintenance or in deficit depending on the day. And you lose weight. I just know that fat doesn't fly. That is an amazing rep. And it's almost 26 feet. Some triple jumps. I'm not sure what the distance is on these, but they look actually really good and really flat. Not sure how far I actually got on this day. Wow. That was terrible, but I got really far. A little bit better, really bad second phase. That one could have been good. Yeah. I think what I realized on this day in particular was that my second phase really sucked. You'll see in the next week I actually work on it. And I actually tried a single arm, that worked. And then we had 2-step jumps into a pit. What do y'all think, guys? Can I dunk? I'm not sure. I tried to get some distance, and I just realized my layout sucks. I jumped too high and I'm not getting any distance. I think I ended up getting, 16 and a half feet on this day. The following week, I actually got 20 feet 9 or something like that. Something crazy off of 2 feet. Just because I really pushed for distance. Here's some lifting. I actually like this fit. I think I look kind of swole. This is 265 right here. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty spicy. This might be 295 with a 2.5. So 300. That probably wasn't programmed. I probably just sucked at math and I probably had 290 or 295. But I'm mogging, dude. I'm lifting the shit out of this weight. Back down set to... That's about 280 right there. And then I think I did one more set, which I may or may not have filmed of me doing 265. Yep. And as you can see, man, great form. Good depth. I look swole as fuck. Nothing to complain about on this day. This whole week was actually pretty amazing. This was probably my best week of training since getting coached by Liam. I felt good. I think I did everything that was programmed. Nothing got in the way of my schedule. And you'll see in week 5 and week 6 and 7, I kind of like finish up the week. Then I go to the next week, which is heavily deloaded. And then I just jump into 3 weeks plyos, which is the current thing that I'm doing right now. And yeah, these were fun. I think this is my first time doing this, possibly. I was testing out some sissies. As you can see, my neck is completely getting crushed. You'll see in the next following weeks, I add blocks to this machine, and I get it to where I'm not putting my head anywhere near that. I'm just getting my head straight. I'm getting deep ROM, and the weight isn't 20 pounds anymore. I think I'm up to almost a plate now. Yeah. I love watching these back. I'm going to just start doing this so I catch up. I'm going to do a voiceover for this one, week 5, week 6 and 7, and week 8. And then eventually I'm just going to be doing voiceovers right after I get done with my lifts, right before I go into work, just so I can post it right off the bat. I think it's a lot more beneficial that way. Let me know what y'all think. I'm not doing any effort with this shit. No effort. Nothing. I'm just literally watching and talking about what I see, saying whatever pops up in my head, and showing y'all that, with a kid, with a full-time job, whether you're having a good or bad day, you should still probably train, just because it's not only good for your mental, it's good for your physical, and it just, I don't know. Why not, dude? You're going to be tired. You're going to feel like shit anyways. You might as well feel like shit and have done some training, so you're a little bit athletic on top of feeling like shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to feel like shit, you might as well work out because you're going to feel like shit anyways. But if you feel like shit and you can dunk or you can run fast or jump high, you're kind of a cool person that feels like shit.